Yellow paintwork. Ah! Hey guys, Justin here, and in today's video we're going to talk about why your white paintwork turns yellow. So it can be really frustrating when you've spent hours painting and in just a short period of time that paint does start to turn yellow. Now you might be able to notice that I have already painted part of the stairs just on the other side there, and you probably can see the difference in colour. Now this has had a rub down. I've given this a scratch with some sandpaper, so it is ready for painting. Now the way I prevent my paintwork from going yellow is I actually use a water-based paint. Now it has been proven that by using a water-based paint it doesn't actually go yellow. Well, I haven't heard it has, and I've used water-based over a few years now and I haven't experienced it going yellow, particularly not as bad as solvent or oil-based paint does. One of the things I have noticed over the years using solvent or oil-based paint is that if there's no sunlight that gets to it, it causes it to turn yellow so much quicker. So what I've got to do now, I've got to go over this whole lot with this water-based paint. So this is the paint I'm using today. It's a Crown quick dry non-drip satin in pure brilliant white. Therefore it is going to give you a nice white finish, but it's just not as shiny as a gloss would be. Now the light today is really poor, so I'm really struggling to see where I'm going when I'm painting. But I'm going to paint this section of the stairs now, and hopefully you can see the difference between the white that's already on there and the white that I'm putting on. Now there are a couple of areas where I have put a little bit of undercoat on, and it has also been rubbed down ready for painting. So in areas it does look a little bit whiter than what it normally does, but with using this paint for the top coat and putting this on now, hopefully you'll see a real big difference. There, you can definitely see this looks really white, really nice and clean, where this still looks kind of dirty and yellow. So it's the oil in the oil-based paints which in time turns the paint yellow. So if you're using a water-based paint, you're pretty much guaranteed that it is going to stay white. Using a water-based paint has its advantages. It doesn't smell, well, maybe a little bit, but not massively, not like the solvent-based paints are. It dries really quick, so you can get on with something else, or you can paint it again a lot sooner if need be. It's a lot more child-friendly, so there's not going to be wet paint all around the house, if you like, for the children or people like us to put our hands in or brush past. And of course, it does stay white. But there are a couple of disadvantages. My first disadvantage is that because it dries so quick, it doesn't allow the paint to settle. Now when you use a gloss paint that's solvent based, because it takes so long to dry, over time the brush strokes can flatten, whereas the brush strokes in water-based paint they don't take longer to settle, but because the paint dries quicker, it doesn't allow those brush marks to settle, therefore giving you a less smooth finish with this water-based paint. This particular paint, this non-drip paint, is a little bit sticky to use. Now you can't put water, you can't mix this one with water, or it says not to. You can't stir the tin. It's very jellified. So if you have a look here, it's like a wobbly jelly, which is okay. I generally don't drip paint everywhere, but You know, you can't be too careful. But secondly, it's just quite thick on the brush, so you're putting it on, it almost feels like glue. Of course, that's not the case with all water-based paints. Some are really nice and not necessarily runny, but just very smooth to go on. This is a little bit sticky, I've got to be honest. Now I've just finished this section. I haven't touched the spindles yet, but I'm really happy with the finish there. This is quite a large surface area and that paint has gone on really smoothly. I think you can also see from this angle the big difference between this colour here and this colour. This is definitely going to last a lot longer. The other big bonus, the massive advantage I think for using water-based paint is also that it cleans so much easier. You can just clean it with water and a little bit of washing up liquid is always good, I find. Solvent-based paint, it's a real pain in the backside, isn't it? Because you've got to use that white spirit and you've got to dispose of the white spirit appropriately. I do think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages to using water-based. I know the finish isn't great, but it's just so much easier. You can wash it with water, it doesn't smell, it dries quicker, and it's going to stay white for longer. Now if you're using solvent-based paint outside, generally it's okay because with the sunlight, the sun does tend to keep the white white. As I've said, if you're painting in a cupboard and it doesn't get any sunlight and you have used solvent based, it really does turn yellow. So I have done outdoor jobs using a solvent based paint, and because it's outside and it gets natural light, it stays white. I haven't had an issue with that before. But you stick your solvent based on wood in a cupboard, no natural light, it's going to turn yellow. So my advice would be, if you're going to be doing any painting of woodwork, use some water-based. It's just so much easier. I'm going to put a list at the end of this video of the advantages, disadvantages, and just so you can kind of decide for yourself whether you think it's advantageous to use the water-based stuff, really. That's it from me. I hope this video has given you a little bit of an insight into using water-based. I would have given you a bit of a demo using oil-based or solvent-based, but I don't really use it now. I don't keep it in the van. Only really if clients really want to use it and they want to supply it. Generally, I don't buy it myself now. So, hey, I think I'm pretty much water-based all the way. So good luck with your painting and deciding whether you want to go for water-based or solvent-based. But leave any questions or comments down below. That would be fantastic. And don't forget to subscribe. That'll be perfect. And I guess I'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.